Okay, here we are for Paradise Supplement, Image 3000. We're going to just walk you through it real quick, just show you a couple quick little tips. You also get a manual so you can refer to that at any time. The power button is your emergency stop button right here. You're just going to pull that out to put the power on the machine. Your conveyor button is right over here, conveyor off on. Let's turn the conveyor on. It does have different speeds on the conveyor. That's on the side over here, so you can change it to variable speed conveyor. The fill motor is right here. You're going to need to turn this on anytime you run the machine. That turns the motor in the very back on, which in turn turns the belts up top and the pulleys that will eventually turn your clutch brake on. So the fill motor is going to be on, conveyor will be on, and then you're going to go right into your PLC program. The first thing you can do is just try manual mode. That's F2. So you just go right to the screen and look at your F buttons, the function buttons. These are your enter buttons. So function button 2 is manual, F2. So F1 is jog auger. Jog auger is basically you're going to turn the auger at the end of the day if you have a little bit extra product in the hopper. Just hit F1. I'm going to hit F1. You see the manually turns the auger. Auger is going to be attached to this auger shaft in here. Next is your agitation. That's going to be the blade that sweeps the wall of your hopper. You can just turn that to the on position. You want to run it near the end of the day again for manually running it. Up and down arrows go change the arrows up here. If you hit the button to the right, it's going to make it go down to the next one. The button to the left makes it go up. So down, up on the screen. F2 is your stops. So F2 right there, function key F2, are going to make your stops go in and out. The importance of that is when you're switching over containers, you're going to want to set them up so your container that has just been filled is going to be right here, and this is going to line it up, and it's going to line up the container that has not been filled yet. So you're going to want to set these at the beginning of the run, and you can do that easily with your manual mode. You don't have a lift installed in this machine, but if you ever got one, it's in the program. And then F8, function 8 is exits. Next is your edit screen, F3. Edit recipes is really important because you're going to need to have a recipe, at least one, with your products. Sorry if you can't see it clearly. There's two different things up here. You have the number of recipe, which is right here, and then what you name the recipe. We just happen to name it recipe 1, but you can name it anything. You name it 1 pound powder fill or whatever you want to name it. All you would do is take your little line here. This is a little line in front of the box. You can move that around with these right and left keys. See, it's moving up to recipe. So if you want to name the recipe, you're going to hit enter. This is your enter button right here. So you hit enter, and you can name it whatever you want. You can just select it. You can just see these ones, the names at the bottom here, select, caps, are your function keys. So this relates to your function 1. Select, caps is function 2. Or you can just go through the arrow buttons here to get to what you want. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and escape out of here, and then go back to turns. So turns. So again, you're going to select your recipe. Number 1, name it, and then it's going to be turns or time. Or off. It's either going to be time or turns. You want to be in turns. Now you go to time if your encoder would ever fail. Your encoder is located up there. It's hard to see a little bit, but it's your blue encoder cube up there. So turns is how many times you want this actual auger to turn revolutions, a full turn. So you might start at like 5 turns or so and then go from there. You can do decimals, so you can go it's 2 decimals. 5.23, 20.83, whatever you want to put in there is your turns. And again, you're just going to use the arrow button over, go to your turns and put whatever you want in. Let's put it in 5.25. Enter. And now your turns are 5.25. Agitation, that's your blade against the wall. You're going to be mostly with fill for everything, but you can also put it on all the time. Vibration, you can do it as you fill or all the time. Fill timeout, that's after a certain amount of time. If say you went to lunch and the agitation was in continuous, you wouldn't want it to run all day long, so it would automatically time out. And then these are really important, your release time, your release delay and index time. These are for your cylinders. You're gonna have anywhere from a quarter of a second to a second. Right now they're on 1 second, but you can go 0.25, 0.50, and play around with them. That is going to be change when you change your different size containers. The lower that number in here, the lower the number in there. Sorry, it keeps getting blurry. The quicker you're going to turn around your fills, but you don't want to be too fast where you're still filling and it's releasing. So vibration time after fill. This is on for 1 second after the fill. You can put that on 0 if you want. Just going back to your original screen now, I exited out of there. There's a configuration screen right now, F4. That's going to be just for the future in case you ever get a level control or a lift or a cutoff. Any of these things are going to be in the program already. If you do get them, it's nice to have this PLC because you can add the hardware and then the software is already there for you. So I just exited out there. Now we're going to go right back into F1 automatic operation. Automatic operation is what you're going to use to run your containers. As you can see, I changed it to 5.25 terms at recipe 1, the number 1 recipe, and recipe 1 we called it 5.25 turns. It'll be agitation with fill, vibration with fill. You can hit start. And once we get containers in here, which would be this photo eye over here. Let me just show you kind of a back view of it. The photo eye is located here, and this is what the machine sees and lets them know that there's containers on the line. And as you can see, your auger would turn 5.25 times. Your agitation is with fill, so when it fills, your agitation will turn. There'll be a blade on there. Indexing cylinders are coming in and out. Again, you're going to turn your conveyor on and tables on. The tables are over here. We have them lined up, so you can see them here. Excuse me. You can see how they're lined up. We have it kind of offset a little bit for your bigger containers. It's kind of turned to the side a little bit. But again, going back here, you can see how it's kind of offset. Just so your containers go on here correctly. This is how it's going to look. Alright, it's going to be facing this way with your tray out this way. And your on off buttons over here and your speed controls right here. How fast you want that turning. And same thing down with the accumulation table. Same thing, you have an off on button and a speed control. And with the accumulation table, we're basically running that straight on. Okay. Some of the parts, that's your clutch brake, the black part. That's your encoder with 2 gears. That's your chain for driving your agitation. This is your gear reducer and motor. That's what turns your agitation blade. There's a sprocket under there. That's your fill motor. Up top is your top cover. There's a 3-step pulley back there, a sheave, and a belt is up there as well. Back here is your motor starter box. This is like your circuit breaker box. If you ever get a high voltage, just like a circuit breaker where it would trip, so you come back here and just reset it. Down here is your jack assembly for lifting it up. You can see that we're lifted up right now, and you just take this jack handle, loosen this set screw back here. Yeah, make sure you loosen the set screw, jack it up or down, and then retighten that set screw. This is your solenoid valve. You're going to need to bring air to that to control the index cylinders. Your leads coming out of here, your 220 single phase and your 110 are coming out of here. You're going to have to hook them up. This is your motor. It's inline DC drive motor. We already have that hooked into your power over here, so it'll automatically run. These are just 110 units tables. And that's about it. So give me a call if you have any other questions.